unleashing violence not seen for decades, and all roads lead to George Soros. That billionaire has been electing far-left district attorneys across the country. Larry Krasner in Philadelphia, Kim Foxx in Chicago, Joseph Boudin in San Francisco, all elected because of George Soros, and their cities are falling apart as a result. We're going to dig into that in some detail tonight, 8 Eastern on Fox News.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way.
Nick, what are you doing?
Well, Adam, Thanksgiving is over, so it's officially time for the holidays.
And it's time for our Legacy Box Cyber Monday sale, which means you can save up to 65% when you digitize your home movies and pictures. What an incredible reason to join the millions of people who've entrusted Legacy Box to safeguard their recorded memories.
Plus, Legacy Box is the best gift for you or a family member. It's what Better Homes and Gardens called the most sentimental gift to make this holiday season special.
And what Reader's Digest called a genius product.
That's because Legacy Box is simple and safe. Just fill and send, and you'll get your new digital copies of your treasured tapes, film reels, and photos.
So turn on the Christmas music and make sure to visit LegacyBox.com and shop our Cyber Monday sale to take an unreal 65% off.
Our Cyber Monday sale is going on now at LegacyBox.com/value. That's LegacyBox.com to take 65% off. Visit LegacyBox.com/value.
With news on 548, the parents of the Michigan school shooting suspect have been charged with involuntary manslaughter, but as of this hour, they are nowhere to be found. Earlier today, the Oakland County Sheriff said a search was underway involving the FBI and U.S. Marshals. Two attorneys for the couple, though, say that Jennifer and James Crumbley did not flee, and they do plan to turn themselves in for arraignment. This has yet to happen. Hours ago, the charges were announced.
Well, it's unusual for parents of school shooters to face charges. Oakland County Prosecutor Karen McDonald says in this case, the actions of Ethan Crumbley's parents went far beyond negligence.
While the shooter was the one who entered the high school and pulled the trigger, there are other individuals who contributed to the events on November 30th, and it's my intention to hold them accountable as well.
McDonald saying James Crumbley purchased the gun days before the shooting with his son present. That gun seemingly freely available at home. And when parents were called into school after their son drew pictures in class depicting his shooting, they didn't ask their son whether he had the gun in his possession that he would later use that day in his deadly rampage.
Correspondent Dave Packer reporting, and the prosecutor said the mother texted her son, "Don't do it," when news of the active shooter situation went public. With news on 550, the Mount Vernon Police Department coming under federal scrutiny. U.S. Attorney Damian Williams launched the investigation to review complaints of unlawful or unconstitutional conduct, singling out black residents for mistreatment,
including the use of excessive force, unlawful strip and body cavity searches, and falsifying evidence.
Assistant Attorney General Kristen Clark says young people were particular targets of brutality.
In some cases, the injuries these individuals suffered were severe.
The probe follows resident complaints, whistleblower case, and a call from the Westchester DA. Juliet Papa, 1010 Wins News. The mother of actress Lindsay Lohan has been sentenced to 18 days in jail following a DWI conviction. The Nassau County District Attorney's Office says Dina Lohan rear-ended another car near the Merrick Mall in January of 2020. Lohan pleaded guilty to DWI and leaving the scene of an accident. She has also been sentenced to 5 years probation. With news on 551, time now for traffic and transit. Here's Greg Rice.
Now, Lori, traffic is at a standstill in Queens, Grand Central eastbound right now from right off of the BQE past LaGuardia. This doesn't really get better until just before it. You get over to Northern Boulevard, we're looking into why, but yeah, this is a mess on the eastbound Grand Central. More company through Kew Gardens. Overall, though, the Long Island Expressway, worst of it because it's bad all the way home from Van Dam Street into Nassau County and then all the way on out to routes 106 and 107. Since we're here, here's what we see on Long Island's Big Three. In addition to that, the westbound LIE slows from Glen Cove Road to Queens. Northern State, you got the westbound company from Shelter Rock Road on back. Eastbound Northern State slow over to Willis Avenue and from the Meadowbrook over to the Wantagh State Parkway. Southern State sluggish west from just after 109 to Eagle Avenue, eastbound bad to Baldwin Road, again from Merrick Avenue all the way out towards Route 110. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Sitting outside of the George Washington Bridge, the lower level is definitely the better of it right now. That's about 20 minutes, 40 plus. Onto the upper level, nothing easy out on this gridlock alert day. Worse inbound than outbound at the Lincoln. Inbound's about 45, 20 to 30 out. Still 45 or so at the outbound Holland, 30 to 40 in from the Skyway. Better off the Turnpike. Traffic is sponsored by Storage Blue. At Storage Blue, self-storage couldn't be easier. With free pickup and they're guaranteed to beat any price, there's no reason to store anywhere else. Visit storageblue.com or call 781-STORAGE to schedule your free pickup. Storage Blue, the cheapest self-storage. I'm Greg Rice on 1010 West.
Now the AccuWeather 4-day forecast. Here is meteorologist Dave Bowers.
Well, we're looking at dry weather with seasonable temperatures for the weekend. The wind will be diminishing here this evening, otherwise partly cloudy tonight. Temperatures in the low to middle 30s at daybreak, and then getting up around 46, 47 degrees for a high both tomorrow and Sunday. Both days featuring kind of a mixed bag of clouds and sunshine. It's not till Monday that we have to talk about a little bit of rain. This will be mainly in the afternoon ahead of the next front, but it's also going to be a windy, very mild day with a high of 65 degrees. And then partly sunny and much colder behind that front Tuesday. Highs in the low 40s. We're at 44 right now, partly cloudy in Central Park, a west wind at 15. Repeating the current temperature 44, going down to 36 in Midtown. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Dave Bowers on New York's weather station, 1010 West.
With news time 5:53. 77 years after he was killed in World War II, the remains of a Binghamton soldier have been identified. U.S. Army Private Morris Swackhammer was 20 years old when he was hit by machine gun fire in the woods of France's Alsace region. His squad had to leave his body behind in the face of enemy fire. A year later, the Army recovered a then unidentified body from a cemetery in the area they thought belonged to Swackhammer, but they couldn't confirm it at the time. The remains were exhumed in 2019, brought to the U.S. for investigation. The Defense Department says his family only recently received a full briefing on the positive identification. Wins News Time 5:54. A Nobel Peace Prize winner will be able to leave the Philippines to collect her prize.
The government of the Philippines has tried to block journalist Maria Ressa from attending the Nobel Peace Prize ceremony, but the Court of Appeals has ruled otherwise. The government called Ms. Ressa a flight risk, citing what it called her recurring criticisms of the Philippine legal processes. Reza is the first Nobel laureate from the Philippines and head of the digital news organization Rappler. It's known for its investigations on disinformation and of President Rodrigo Duterte's brutal 5-year drug war. The government has filed 7 criminal charges against Reza, including cyber libel and tax evasion. Correspondent Linda Kenyon reporting Reza was awarded the Peace Prize in October along with Dmitry Muratov, a Russian investigative journalist, for their courageous fight for freedom of expression. Wins News Time 5:55.
Hey, nice party.
Yeah, what's new with you?
Did you know blue whales in Hawaii can be heard off the coast of California?
What?
And time travel to the future may actually be possible.
How is that?
Look at it on Curiosity Stream. You can stream thousands of shows on nature, history, science, and so much more.
Cool.
And their annual plans are 25% off, just $1.25 a month.
Now I want to go back in time. Sign up for that deal.
Sign up now at CuriosityStream.com.
CuriosityStream.com.
That's it, CuriosityStream.com.
Hi, this is Stu Leonard, and we have your perfect Christmas tree delivered fresh every day. We'll even tie it to the roof of your car. Get your wreaths, roping, and tree at Stu Leonard, and for each tree we cut, we plant 2. You always ask me, where do I set up my tree at home? You know what I say? Wherever my wife Kim tells me. Stu Leonard Christmas trees are the best. Starting at $24.99. Happy holidays. Ho, 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 ho.
Wednesday's time of 5:56. Now the bottom line for small business. Here's Rob Wall.
The legendary writer Jack Newfield had an annual tradition around the holiday season where he recognized unsung heroes of New York. And in that spirit, I want to recognize an individual who has been a champion for small business. Over the last 20 years, Colin Graham has served as president of Bed-Stuy Restoration Corporation and has energized the organization that was created in 1967 by Senators Robert F. Kennedy and Jacob Javits. It was an initiative that began with the purchase of an abandoned milk bottling plant in the heart of Bedford-Stuyvesant, and it became known as Restoration Plaza, a creative hub of commerce, art, and services. Over the years, Colvin built housing, recruited small businesses, added new jobs, and spearheaded the creation of a business improvement district. Colvin Graham is now retiring, and this city is much better off because of his great work.
And that's my view on the bottom line for small business. I'm Rob Walsh for 1010 Wins.
On Wall Street today, the Dow closed down 59 points. The Nasdaq was off 295. The S&P fell 38 points. Wins News Time 5:57.
Pediatricians now recommend the COVID-19 vaccine for children 5 to 17 years old. As a parent or guardian, you may have questions like, is the COVID-19 vaccine really safe for children? Or is it necessary for your child to get a COVID-19 vaccine? The FDA and CDC have found the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine to be safe and authorized its use among children 5 and older. The COVID-19 vaccine is recommended for children 5 and older, just like other childhood vaccinations. Getting vaccinated against COVID-19 is the best protection against getting severely sick or having long-term complications from COVID-19 illness. Get your child vaccinated today. To learn more about COVID-19 vaccines, visit nyc.gov/COVID vaccine or call 212-COVID-19.
This Black Friday, Optimum Mobile has the best deals on the gifts that everyone wants. For a limited time, get up to $300 off on the latest 5G phones. There's something for everybody on your holiday list. And with savings this good, you can even gift yourself. Plus, with Optimum flexibility, you can choose the plan you want and change any time, so you only ever pay for what you need. Flexible plans start at $14 a month with 5G access included, so you stay connected on America's largest, fastest, and most reliable network. Save up to $300 on the latest 5G phones and get your holiday shopping done. But you better hurry. These deals won't last long. Don't miss out on Optimum Mobile's Black Friday deals. Check out all the offers at Optimum.com/mobile or visit your Optimum store today. Optimum Mobile. Bigger bars, smaller bills. Device promotional savings applied as immediate credit toward purchase finance of eligible device. Offer subject to discontinuance or change at any time. While supplies last. 5G not available in all areas or on all plans. 5G capable device required.
WINS, WINS-HD, WAWHD3 New York.
An Odyssey station. 1010 Winds Accuweather says clear to partly cloudy tonight with diminishing winds, low 36 degrees here in the city. Tomorrow a mix of sun and clouds, high 47. Sunday, times of clouds and sun, high 48. We might see a shower or two Sunday night. Much warmer on Monday. We could hit 65, but it's going to be a very windy day, maybe a shower. Much cooler on Tuesday, clouds and sun, high 42. More people get their news from 1010 Winds than from any other radio station in the nation. Zachary Newman is our service aide. Walter Geist is writing. Kyle McMorrow is at the editor's desk. I'm Lori Madden.
All news, all the time. This is 1010 Winds, New York.
Good evening. It's 44 degrees at 6 o'clock. I'm Larry Cantor, and here's what's happening. Columbia students turn out at a vigil for the grad student killed last night in Morningside Park. Dr. Fauci says vaccines are the best way to protect yourself from COVID, and the vaccine makers are working on shots that will be specific to Omicron. Yesterday was a big day for COVID shots in America, with about half of them boosters. The parents of the Michigan high school shooting suspect are themselves facing charges. Fans of the Fonz will want in on an upcoming auction. In sports, Giants quarterback Daniel Jones won't play against the Dolphins Sunday due to a neck injury. The Nets host Minnesota tonight. Rangers are home for San Jose. The Devils play at Winnipeg. Accuweather, patchy clouds tonight. Winds die down, a low 36. Tomorrow's high 47. Winds News Time 6:01. Time for traffic and transit, and here's Greg Rice.
Well, Larry, the southbound ride in Jersey, not so easy right now. Garden State Parkway South in Irvington, your exit 143C. Bad wreck in the left lane, bad ride behind it from Bloomfield. Northbound onlookers out of the Union Tolls, and then more company getting up past exit 148. So how about the Turnpike? How about not? Both spurs southbound slow. Worst on the western spur, but both are bad. And then southbound car and truck lane south of the Newark Bay extension, all jammed up past to the Goethals Bridge. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Citybound side of the George Washington Bridge, 45 to 60 on the upper level, now 30 to 45 on the inbound lower. That's getting worse, not better. Same with the outbound George, nothing easy there. Lincoln, 30 to 45 in, about 20 minutes out. Outbound Holland, that's actually gotten back up to about an hour. Inbound 30 to 45 from the Skyway. better into the city at the Holland off of the Newark Bay extension of the New Jersey Turnpike, but do not expect perfection. City-bound Midtown Tunnel either way with the Brooklyn Bridge. The Bronx-bound and Queens-bound Whitestone all still some kind of slow. Throgs Neck by far the best of it either way across the Upper East River. Traffic is sponsored by BioNTech and Pfizer. Come rain or shine, high winds or mild breezes, blue skies or gray. It's a great time to consider getting vaccinated against COVID-19. I'm Greg Rice on 1010 Wins.
Let the weekend begin, and it looks like the weather will cooperate. Let's get the latest now from Accuweather and meteorologist Dave Bowers.
Yeah, it will cooperate. Pretty quiet across much of the eastern half of the country, in fact. We've had a pretty gusty wind through most of the afternoon, but that's starting to die down. So with high pressure in charge, we're expecting at least a partly sunny sky both tomorrow and Sunday with afternoon temperatures in the middle 40s. And it's not until Monday afternoon before we see some rain with the next front. So pretty good weekend. Larry?
Right now, it's 44 degrees, partly cloudy skies. A vigil was held this evening on the Columbia University campus for the grad student who was stabbed to death last night at nearby Morningside Park. A suspect is in custody. Let's get more now live from Columbia. Here's our Carol Dioria.
And Larry, it was a very solemn, very sad vigil for this young man. It ran about 20 minutes on the lawn, which is the central part of the campus of Columbia. And the dean of the engineering school told those who attended that the victim, Davide Giri, was a promising student with his whole life ahead of him. He said Giri had studied in Turin, Italy, in Shanghai, in Chicago, before coming to Columbia University here in New York. It was Thursday night in Morningside Park that he was stabbed to death, stabbed right in his gut. He was all of 30 years old. And tonight we are expected to hear of the arrest of the man who is accused of killing him. He's been in custody. They've been questioning him. We know that he has quite an arrest record. They are also going to try to hold him responsible for the stabbing and injuring of another person a few blocks from the park, and also for a menacing incident. So it's quite a night, a lot of developments, but the vigil here was an attempt to let everyone share their grief together. Carol Dioria, 1010 Wins Live at Columbia University.
This incident brings to mind the stabbing death of Barnard freshman Tessa Majors in Morningside Park. 1 week from tomorrow, it'll be 2 years since her killing. Earlier this fall, the young man was sentenced to 9 years to life in prison for her murder. An accomplice was charged as a juvenile and pled guilty to a lesser charge. He was sentenced to 18 months detention. A third suspect is awaiting trial. The World Health Organization says the Omicron COVID variant has now been detected in 38 countries and appears to be more contagious than the Delta variant. A handful of cases have been confirmed in our area. The Delta variant is still dominant in our country. Dr. Anthony Fauci says the best thing you can do right now to protect yourself is get vaccinated.
There's every reason to believe that if you get vaccinated and boosted, that you would have at least some degree of cross protection, very likely against severe disease, even against the Omicron variant.
Down the road, Fauci sees a vaccine that will be designed to combat Omicron. He says the government is working with Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson on a vaccine that covers several strains and a booster specific to Omicron. He says the government is also working with the drug makers to rev up production of existing vaccines. More people are heeding the advice to get vaccinated or get a booster. The CDC says nearly 2.2 million shots were administered yesterday. That was the largest single-day total since last May. The White House says about half the shots were boosters, 1/3 were first doses. The CDC says nearly 60% of Americans are fully vaccinated. About 70% have received at least one shot. 21% of fully vaccinated Americans have gotten a booster. We still have a lot to learn about Omicron, but the case of an Israeli cardiologist who came down with the variant is providing a glimmer of hope that fully vaccinated individuals are protected against serious illness and perhaps are also less contagious.
The number of confirmed Omicron cases rising to 7 here in Israel. The health ministry also reporting they're testing 27 others. The vast majority of the cases, 26 out of 34, are patients not fully vaccinated. The ministry reporting almost 40% of the unvaccinated, or 10 patients,